Welcome back to a brand new Arm Wrestle Simulator video, and in today's video guys I'm going to be reviewing and explaining some of the best tips and tricks for a new player to become a pro such as myself in Arm Wrestle Simulator on its own. But before I begin guys, please remember to like the video and subscribe if you are new. I just passed 6,000 and I'm aiming for 10,000 for my birthday, which is in August, so it would be absolutely amazing if you guys could help me reach that goal by then, and I would absolutely appreciate it. But getting on with the video, let's start with our first segment, and that is going to be about the codes. Now, to locate the code section, all you have to do is go to the left hand side of your screen, click on store, go all the way down here to the right and click on codes, and here you'll see a box of which you can type into. Now, I won't be giving all of the codes here for one reason and one reason only, and that's because the rest of them are located in the Discord. Now, if you guys would like to come and find them, the Discord for AWS, aka Arm Wrestle Simulator, will be located in the description, as well as a screenshot of all of the current codes that exist. But for those that are new and starting off, here are the most important codes that you guys can use that are updated as of today, which is the 17th of June. To begin with, let's start with the miscellaneous ones, and that's going to be bolts for our first. Now obviously, as you can see, I've already redeemed this. Bolts will basically give you 100 bolts to use for Goliathing a pet. Now, for a new player, that might be a little bit overwhelming, but allow me to explain just a little bit before we go further. We have 3 different levels of a pet. Now, obviously, to get to a huge, you are going to need 3 big, but to get to a big, you're going to need 3 babies. So at that point, once you have a huge, in the world for the Space Gym, which is located right here, you will be able to go ahead and make any pet a Goliath using a huge pet. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the next one, a good one for new players. Let's go through the stat boost codes. Now, to begin with, we have a 3-time stat boost codes, which will maximize your playtime up to, I'd say, roughly about 1 day and an hour if you put all of them together. Bear in mind, there are definitely more than this. As I say, they are also going to be located in the description, as well as the Discord as well, so make sure you come and join that, or just check out the image in the description if you'd like the codes. But let's just go forward and start with our first one, and that is going to be 800 M visits. Now, I don't think I've put these ones on, so as you can see, I now have 8 hours of a stat boost. That already is going to be absolutely insane for players that are new, because obviously, training at the start with no pets is going to be, well, a pain. Anyway, moving forward, the next 3 times code that we can do is going to be Magic World. Now, I do want to save some of these for myself later, but this one will give you 3 times stat boost for 6 hours. Then there's another one, which is going to be Super Membership. That one there will also give you a 3 times stat boost for another 6 hours. Then there is another one, which is Forging. This one will give it to you for 3 hours, and then the final one is going to be the Code Hunt, and that will give it to you for 2 hours. So obviously, as I was saying, that's going to give you a total of 1 day and 1 hour worth of triple stat boost. So that's going to be absolutely insane, especially for a new player. So definitely make sure you use them. Now, of course, then we have some additional ones. So back to the codes area. We then have Leagues. Now, Leagues was a feature back in the day, in terms of a year ago I'm talking. But that's now gone. But Leagues will give you 1 wins potion, as you can see right there, which also, again, negates the need for pay to win, like I did. But that'll give you a wins potion to double your wins earned from fighting bosses. Next up, it's going to be 900k likes. This one will give you 5 hours of double luck and 2 times wins for 5 hours as well. So obviously, as you can see, I've just added that, and it looks like it's also added a star fruit as well. So that's definitely new for me. Unless that's mine, I'm not too sure. I may have not noticed that. So, you know, just forgive me on that one. Either way, moving on, we then have Axel. This code here, which is Axel, the creator of the game, he gives 50 wins to the player. Now, of course, that 50 wins can then be used to open up these eggs. Now, as a new player, I would highly suggest skipping this one, as lucrative and as tempting as it is. definitely go ahead and open up this quite a few times just to get yourself some pets. Now, obviously, while we're opening up pets, there is also this over here, which is the pet index. Now, at the start, as far as I'm aware, if you get some of these pets, or at least all of them in this section, I believe it does give you a free pet equip. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Now, the next code that I would suggest on top of that is going to be free spins. Now, this code here gives you free wheel spins. I already have 2,000, so of course I don't need them. But that free spins will help any new player be able to get a step ahead in the game. Now, moving on to the next one I'm going to suggest is going to be Noob. Now, this code here also will give you another wheel spin, then making it 4 free wheel spins for you to be able to use at the start of the game to then build up a even larger amount of wins or even so other prizes from that wheel too. Now, there is one more code for that section, and that is going to be enchant. Now, I would only suggest using this if you get stuck on a certain amount of rebirth. So, if you get stuck on, let's say, rebirth, I don't know, like 70 or something, and you're like, oh, I don't have enough wins to be able to go forward, that code right there will give you free rebirths, so you can just do that without losing any of your strength. So of course they're extremely helpful, and I would absolutely advise going through them, because that is going to be one hell of a game changer for new players. Now, of course, moving on, let's go into the final ones, and that's going to be the stat additions. Now, these ones are absolutely OP, and I would not suggest using them at the start of the game. Now, as for the stat additions, these will also multiply the total stats you have in terms of the bicep power, or the hand strength, or the knuckle strength. It will multiply it by the certain percentage that the code will give. So, of course, in terms of that, the stat addition codes that I would suggest using, now, again, do not use them at the start of the game. Use them when you get stuck, or if you can't grind for too long, or if you feel like you've got a lot of strength. Definitely use them then. Otherwise, do not use them at the start of the game. Just come back to this video if you have them ready, or if you just want to write them down. Here's your first one. It's going to be 200M. Now, this one here will give you 5% on all of your stats. Now, that will increase my stats by 5%. Of course, again, I don't want to do that. I believe I've also used some of these, but I like my strength being where it's at, so I'm not going to use them. But of course, that's one of the many codes that I'm going to show to you. The next one is going to be fixed. This one will also give you an additional 5%. So of course, definitely make sure you write that one down as well. Then the next one is actually really OP, which is going to be 1 million. Now, this code here will give you a 10% on all of your stats, as well as a stats boost with a 3 times multiplier for many hours. As well as that, it'll also give you some seeds for the garden, which of course we'll go into right now. And here we are, but unfortunately, as a new player, this garden will not be unlocked until you have beaten the Cybercop, which is located in the Space Gym. Either way, going forward, our next code is going to be big update soon. Now, this code right here will give you 10% on all of your stats. Now, again, do not be using these until you have gotten to a point that you cannot go further, because that is going to be one great way to actually help beat what you are stuck with. Next one is going to be its Hulk time. That gives us a 15% boost. And then last but not least is 5k reactions, which is another 15% boost. So all in all, you'll be able to gain yourself 60% of an increase just on that alone. So make sure you definitely use them when you are stuck and not just out of nowhere. Either way, moving on now into the training methods. Each world actually has a unique training method, which obviously has to be utilized because obviously you can see up here we have 3 different training strengths. Now, when I actually first started playing this game when it first released, I was really confused as to why those 3 training methods if the bosses only required 1, and that was your total. So obviously I found it out, and here is my guide to that. Of course, every single world has a different requirement that is best, and for the spawn, that is going to be your hand strength. Now that already will give you the most out of whatever you can get by just using hand strength. It is somewhat counterproductive to try out using any of the knuckles or the barbells or the dumbbells, but you can also use them if you feel like you want to. But for your best method and training session, it is going to be for your hand strength. Now, the teleport does require a game pass, but just for ease, we're going to use it to teleport across worlds, just so it makes it a lot quicker for us, and also so I can help you just sort of understand a lot quicker. But in this world as well, our next training method is actually going to be Knuckles. Now, I didn't have VIP when I first started playing this game up until this world. This world was really, really hard. So of course, while going through these worlds, flying through them, you'll realize that certain things are faster than others, Knuckles being one of them. However, some of the worlds are balanced to a point where Knuckles may not be the best to do, and maybe it'll become Barbell or even so a Dumbbell to be better. Who knows, but while you're going through them, this is going to be the best list. So of course, so far, we've got the spawn being Hands, the Space Gym being Knuckles, and then of course, next up, we have the beach. Now, the beach is actually one of my favorite worlds. Now, with that being said, the training method for this world is actually, once again, going to be your hand strength. So of course, make sure you utilize that and definitely get on with it because it is going to be really, really helpful. Now, of course, obviously we have the punching bags here. These are pretty cool, but we definitely don't want to be using them, especially if we're grinding forward. Now, going on, the nuclear bunker has actually been rebuffed in this latest update from 5 trillion wins required to 2 trillion. So, of course, that already is going to be really helpful for you new players, because 5 trillion, as far as I'm aware from my last Noob to Pro video, was absolutely devastatingly long to do. But either way, going into the bunker now, let's go and find out what the best thing is in here. And that, my friends, is going to be the barbell. Now, the barbell, as to what I'm referring to, is these big guys here. Now, of course, some people are like, okay, but hang on a minute. You can't actually AFK this unless you have an auto-clicker. Well, news for you, you actually can. All you have to do is go to auto-train, click on biceps, and obviously it'll switch it back to the dumbbell rather than the barbell. Then walk up to the barbell, hit E or click on it, and there you go. You are now auto-training and you are set to go. Moving on, we now have the next world, and that is going to be the Dino one. Now, inside the Dino world, there is only one auto-training method available now, and that is going to be hand strength. However, that does not mean it is actually the best thing for you to use. The best thing in here is still going to be, drumroll please, it's going to be the barbell, because this is already giving you more strength. Now, of course, you can utilize these walls as much as you would like. However, you're not going to get much out of them because you still need to train your knuckles in the old worlds as well. But with that being said, once again, it is just the barbell. It also utilizes the world boost, which is located down here. I'll talk about these multipliers and all of this stuff at the end, so make sure you stick around for that, just to learn how to maximize your ability to, well, grind better. But just stick around and I'll tell you about that. But either way, let's move on into the next world, and that is going to be the Void. Now, of course, in the Void there is a whole new design as opposed to when it actually first came out, but the best thing to train in here once again is going to be hand strength. Now, of course, it doesn't actually have a label over it, but that's fine. All you have to do is just click on auto train and click on hands, and there you go. You're already training to do way better. Of course, moving on to the next world, this is called the Space Center, but it is also classed as our 7th world. The actual best method for this one is once again going to be the barbell. Now, that is just as simple as that. It's pretty much a straightforward movement, but all you have to do is do the exact same method from the bunker and just click onto that and go forward. So obviously, let's enter into the next world, and that's going to be the Roman Empire. Now, inside the Roman Empire, the next training method is actually going to be the Knuckles. Now, Knuckles is going to be your fastest and highest gaining statistics that will actually help you grow inside the game. But that's about it in this world. Let's move on to the next one. I believe we've only got 2 left, and this next one is the Underworld. Now, once again, the best training method inside of this world is going to be your Knuckles. This also will be your fastest as well. Again, you don't need any game passes for any of these. These are all just as simple as it is, as just generic and as base as it can be. But moving on, we then have this one, which is going to be the Magic Forest. Now, inside the Magic Forest, there is going to be a different training method, and that's going to be the hands once again. And of course, moving on to the next one, you're also going to be doing hands once again. Of course, with all of that now being stated, let's go through two of the other main features that definitely need covering inside of this video, and that is going to be the upgrades menu. Now, inside the upgrades menu, we have titles, we also have medals, and we also have trails. Now, inside the titles, you'll see I could easily just auto-roll these, but these require a game pass, but they also do provide an increase to your win, so definitely make sure you roll for some titles. Medals will give you an increase to your training, so obviously these are all located in different areas of the game. These ones I believe are located in the earlier worlds, and then these ones are also in your later worlds, so definitely look around for them. I also have a video on this, so definitely go check that out. These two are located as far as I'm aware, inside of here, inside the achievement, so that's definitely something else on top of it. But basically, in terms of trails, these will give you an increase to your strength. Now, as you can see, I currently have a trail on, but I do believe, yeah, I was completely right. The trail is going to be one from the event. Now, let's go ahead and equip this one, the Demonic Fury, and that will change my strength above my head, as you can see, to 25.3 OC. That right there is going to help me beat some of these guys. Well, actually, not these two. Maybe... Okay, maybe just this guy back here, but that will definitely help. As well as that, also the arms system, which being bosses, you'll get some keys. And then, of course, you can just open them up, which will spin. As you can see, we'll just let that roll, and boom, we got a seaweed arm, which gives us a 75% increase on whatever we have on, well, on top of our head. Now, in terms of the arm that I've currently got equipped, let's find it real quick. Where are you? There you are. That has a 175% boost, but that is only for the summer event. But on top of it, as you can see, has a 4,100% boost, which is insane. But as you can see, if I take that off and do a quick train, it will lower my strength exponentially. So of course, going back into arms, I actually have a really OP one up here, which is 9,450. Let's equip that and do a quick train, just so you guys can see that it changes. Bang, there you go. It almost doubled what I had before. So of course, definitely make sure you work towards getting arms, because these will absolutely be insane. And they will help you massively. There's one final thing that I do want to explain, and that is going to be the event system, because the event system will help out significantly, especially with getting OP pets. Now, if you manage to join the game at the right time, especially if you're a new player and you've just found this video, definitely something I would suggest is checking out the events, because usually you'll get pets such as, well, for example, this Sand Dragon, which is a 2 million times multiplier, as to opposed to one of the pets that are in the first world, which is a 2 times multiplier. But of course, all you have to do is come in here, get enough coconuts, and open up that egg down there. And to obviously open up the first one, you only need 288 strength. So already the game is on an unbalanced state, and will help you gain significantly faster than most other players. That's going to be a huge tip to keep in mind, especially if there's an event around. Make sure you check the egg, make sure you check the pets, make sure you check the bosses, and figure out what is best for you, especially for your time and everything else that surrounds it. But guys, that's about all I've got time for. If there is something I have probably missed, I may make a second part, so keep an eye in the description for a second part just in case there is one. And if you guys have any other tips that I could provide to new players as well, definitely make sure you leave them in the comments, and I will definitely check that out for another video. And obviously, if this video has helped you, subscribe for more, and obviously like the video, please. It actually helps me a lot more than you realize. And definitely comment down below with your username if you would like to get some pets, especially if you're new. I might send some over, who knows. Let's just check that out. But either way, guys, thank you very much once again, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.